Great to see you. Great to see all of you. We are going to begin this morning, as we begin every morning at Celina Middle School, with our national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. There is a flag overflying in front of the CAP building. I turn it over to Mr. Sellers and the 8th grade band. Please rise for the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's give applause to our 8th grade band students and Mr. Sellers. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome on behalf of the students and staff of Celina Middle School. Welcome to our annual Relay for Life, a day we look forward to all year long, a day in which we honor all who have been afflicted by cancer, our survivors, our fighters, and our heavenly heroes. Further, we celebrate the hard work, persistence, and determined efforts of the students and staff of Celina Middle School. It is also a day for which Coach Jimmy Valvano, would be proud. During his 1993 acceptance speech for the Arthur Ashe Courage Award, Jimmy V, who had been battling cancer at that time, said that all of us, every single one of us, should do 3 things every day. We should laugh, we should think, and we should have our emotions move to tears. We will accomplish this over the course of this day, as we will laugh. We will spend some time in thought and reflection, and we will, most of us will, have our emotions move to tears. This amazing day will be, in Jimmy V's words, a heck of a day. That's a heck of a day. Last year's relay was certainly more than a heck of a day. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event for me. I so vividly remember starting my speech, much like right now, and I do apologize for I'm battling something. I remember starting my speech, hearing a phone go off, and although it wasn't to the ringtone of "I'm in love with the shape of you," I knew that this was Mrs. Mertz's phone. She just has this tendency to forget to silence it. That's how we know that "I'm in love with the shape of you" is there. That's what her mic calls her with, okay? Now, at that point, she taps me on the shoulder and she says, I'm really sorry to bother you, but you got an important phone call you have to take." If a thought bubble could have appeared over my head at that time, it would have had to have a few redacted words, which are not appropriate for the public, or certainly for Celina Middle School students, because in other words, I was like, are you serious? I just thought, come on, this is the key moment of the opening ceremonies, we're getting going. But as Mrs. Mertz then hands me the microphone and says, just say hello, I knew something big was about to happen. Never to disregard a directive from Mrs. Mertz, I complied and said hello. Many of you then witnessed my once-in-a-lifetime conversation with Coach K, my Mike. That day goes into my history books, my personal history book, as one of my best days ever. That being said, while Coach K that was an amazing situation to be able to talk with him. I remember having that moment of, this is also surreal, and then having that next thought of, get your head in the game here, this is not gonna happen again, so try to say something intelligent. But talking to him was, I still can't find the words, truly, I still cannot find the words to describe that. But it is the backstory that I learned about how that call came to be that caused my heart to grow 3 sizes that day. That every student wrote a letter. Every staff member and my husband and daughter put together a video of what Ann Esselstein means to me. Continues to blow me away. To say I was and still am humbled does not begin to encapsulate what that meant to me. And if you were a guest, and many of you were in on it, and you all kept quiet. Everyone was in on it except me. And that's another thing that's amazing, that for every student writing a letter, staff doing videos, you guys being in, not a peep of that got to me. That in and of itself is miraculous. All that went into making that call happen gets chalked up to some of the blessings of cancer. Words I never thought about when my doctor said, it's cancer. Upon hearing these words, your stomach lurches, your brain tries to process. You're hearing words come from this person that they're kind of like the Charlie Brown teacher, and you're just going, what is this? What is he saying? What is he saying? What does this mean? Your world turns instantly upside down. Many years ago, that happened to 3 staff members at Celina Middle School. Jackie Mertz had been diagnosed with and has survived her battle of breast cancer. Mr. Bob Schillick, who was diagnosed with CLL, a chronic form of leukemia, which he continues to fight to this day. And Mr. Bruce Stroll, who was diagnosed with and ultimately lost his battle with colon cancer in 2003. In 2016 and 17, Mr. Sellers and I were both diagnosed and had gone through treatments. Mrs. Michelle Voris, our health teacher, was recently diagnosed with skin cancer. Mr. Tony Sherrill, intermediate school 6th grade science and social studies teacher, lost his battle to cancer a couple months ago. When someone in your family faces a life-threatening disease and stares down his or her own mortality, you go through several reactions. It's a veritable roller coaster of emotions. Fear, denial, fear, anger, fear, powerlessness. And then, after the initial fight, flight, or freeze response subsides, after the brutal shock diminishes, after you move from desperation to determination, you make choices. You can play defense or you can play offense. You can be thankful for each day or afraid that it's your last. You can choose to surrender, or you can choose to fight. That is exactly what occurred here. A core group of our staff got together and got their game on. They committed to doing whatever we could to find a cure for cancer. The rest of the staff committed and engaged in the fight. Now for the easy part. Recruiting over 400 creative, invincible, idealistic adolescents who believe they can change the world to a cause that most have been touched by. That was the beginning of the Celina Middle School Mini Relay for Life. It is now an annual rite of spring, and without question, the most wonderful and arguably the most educational day of the school year. With an annual goal of raising $10,000 to donate to the American Cancer Society, our inspired students do every type of fundraiser you can imagine. They have bake sales, quilt and Afghan sales, courtesy of Miss Bonnie Binkley, talent shows, gum nights, hat days, dodgeball tournaments, dress-up days. They babysit for a cure, have a relay soak the student water station, tape teachers to the wall, sell candygrams, draw caricatures, create and sell Bulldog products in STEM class, all for the noble purpose of finding a cure for cancer, all with the added benefit of instilling in our students the value of working for a cause bigger than ourselves. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death in the United States, resulting in over 500,000 deaths per year, 1,500 deaths per day, a little over 1 per minute. If you currently have cancer, please stand up. If you have had cancer, please stand up. If you have a parent who has had cancer, please stand up. If you have a grandparent who has had cancer, please stand up. If you have a sibling who has had cancer, please stand up. Continue standing. Continue standing, guys. If you have an aunt, an uncle, or cousins who have had cancer, please stand up. If you have a friend, a family friend, someone in your community, someone in your church who has had cancer, please stand up. If you have had health class this year, you know someone who's had cancer. If you have gone to the middle school this year, you know someone who has had cancer, please stand up. Celina Middle School, please remain standing. Cancer does not discriminate. It doesn't target people of a certain age or gender or race or religion or income level. Like an F5 tornado, cancer cuts a broad path across this community, across this country, across this planet, uprooting millions of lives. 1.3 million people will be diagnosed with cancer this year. And while survival rates against these fugitive cells are drastically improving, a daunting task remains. While new medicines and treatments are showing great promise and providing remission, more research, which costs millions of dollars, is needed. There is more work to be done, more battles to be joined, more victories to be won. Why do we walk? To find a cure! So many lives have been affected by this disease. To all who have lost their lives to cancer, our heavenly heroes, so many whose lives were cut short well before their time, we lovingly remember you. Today we honor you and will speak your names. We deeply miss you and will never forget you. Why do we walk? To find a cure. To all who have gone to war, have endured the hardships of cancer's toxic treatments, and have defeated the enemy, our surviving heroes, we wish you peace of mind whenever you feel that twinge or bump or something less than your best. And on your regular checkups, we pray you are always cancer-free, and we pray you have a long, healthy life. Why do we walk? To find a cure! To all who are currently battling this formidable opponent, our fighting heroes, when you are afraid, we pray you are blessed with immense courage. When you are angry, we pray you are blessed with profound serenity. When you think, why me? We pray you are blessed with unwavering faith. When you are weak, we pray for you strength and fortitude. When you are down, we pray you are blessed with the comfort of good friends, unconditional love from family, and happiness sent to you in an orange envelope. When you are physically weak, we pray you are blessed with tremendous strength and fortitude. When you are spiritually weak, we pray you are blessed with the assurance of knowing God is bigger. God is greater than cancer. When you are finished with your treatments, we pray you are cured forever. And when you are cured, we pray you will join us on our quest for a cure. Why do we walk? To find a cure! And if you get punched in the gut by this heavyweight a third or fourth time, I pray you stand up, catch your breath, and then your team goes to work for you. And that your team, I hope your team, like my team, my extraordinary husband and daughter, mom, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, nieces, nephews, many of whom are here this morning, my exceptional staff, my absolutely spectacularly amazing staff, stalwart colleagues and superintendent, my phenomenal friends, my wonderful and amazing students, the countless people I meet, some of whom I don't even know, who tell me they're praying for me, and my four-legged family member who slurps away my worries every day. I hope that your team, like my team, sits you down in the corner of the ring, massages your shoulders a little bit, puts the spit bucket in front of you, runs the smelling salts under your nose, tightens up your gloves, and says, get back in the ring. There's more to do. There is more fight in you. Get out there. I hope and pray that your team, like my team, surrounds you with love and laughter, covers you in prayer, motivates you to make the most of the day, encourages you to find joy in the journey, compassionately picks you up when you fall down, passionately motivates you and make the most of each day. And on special occasions, or when the chips are down, they call in an A-lister, a Hall of Famer, a legend like Coach K to draw up a winning play. Why do we walk? To find a cure! We walk for our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our grandmas, our grandpas. Why do we walk? To find a cure! We walk for our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, our nieces, our nephews. Why do we walk? To find a cure! We walk for our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our former students, our teachers, our teacher's son, our principal. Why do we walk? To find a cure! Our cause is just. Our resolve remains undeterred. Our goal is to provide hope and inspiration. Our mission is to find a cure for cancer. Why do we walk? To find a cure! Why do we walk? To find a cure! And on the cusp of this amazing day, this amazing gift of a day. This day of great hope and promise and celebration. We walk for all of you.
We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. In spite of the ache, I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
I only wish I could sing like that. Buck and Bronco would like to have me in their band more if I could sing like that, I'm sure. First of all, that walk is such a wonderful walk, and I'm glad that the people in the stands, most of you did not have to do that, and hopefully will never have to do that walk. But I do want you to know that it means so much to us as survivors, It truly is one of those laps that you take and say, I'm still here, I'm still fighting, we're still going on. On that note, I would like to introduce to you Cheryl Eddy, who is from the Big Relay for Life. Cheryl?
Thank you. On behalf of the American Cancer Society, I'd like to thank the staff, the students, and the community for doing such a great work in the fight against cancer. And it's our proud honor to give to you guys this wonderful plaque from all you did over the years.
Oh, thank you. The quest continues.
Jeff, if you would like to come up here, you're welcome to. Jeff Hybe. Next, I would like to introduce to you our guest speaker. And this young lady was a student at the Celina Middle School not too long ago. And she is going to share her experience of the relay. Yes, you may sit down. I would like to introduce to you Lauren Cubberly.
Good morning. Like Mrs. Mertz said, my name is Lauren Cubberly, and I am a senior over here at the high school. And just 5 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you guys are sitting right now. While I attended CMS, I always enjoyed helping raise money for the relay. My group was particularly known for our donut sales we did in the 8th grade. However, truth be told, I didn't have much of a connection to the relay. At the time, I had never had a family member or friend diagnosed with cancer, so I raised money mostly because I loved Mrs. Mertz, and she strongly encouraged us to. Whenever Mrs. Esselstein asked us to stand at the relay like she did today, if a family member or a friend of ours had battled cancer, I never had to stand. Mrs. Esselstein would tell us if we didn't have to stand, we were very blessed, and we should be thankful that we have never had to watch a loved one of ours battle such a terrible disease. I did consider myself lucky at the time as a middle schooler, and I assume that since I had never had a family member or friend diagnosed by this point in my life, it would never happen to me. As I went into high school, a former and current teacher of mine were diagnosed with cancer. My aunt and grandmother were each diagnosed with stage 0 cancer, meaning they had the cancer cells, but were luckily enough able to get them removed. However, what happened the summer before my senior year is what I told myself as a middle schooler would never happen. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which absolutely scared me and broke my heart. Being very close to my mom, I did not like the idea that she was in any sort of pain. About 3 weeks after she was diagnosed, my mom had surgery to remove the cancer, and a little over a month later, she went through 21 rounds of radiation treatment. And while she will take medication for the next 5 years to prevent a reoccurrence, her doctors now say that she is cancer-free. Now, I'm not saying that if you haven't had a family or friend by this point in your life battle cancer that you will experience it, but this is more my story. Though my mom's battle with cancer has thankfully been a short one, it taught me to appreciate the people in my life. Her cancer battle could have potentially been a worse one if it weren't for her amazing surgeons, doctors, and supporters. 10 years ago, her cancer may have not been caught until a much later stage. Thanks to the money raised for cancer research, it was caught at the best time it could have been caught. In other words, you may feel like your money and time and effort is not making a difference in someone's life, but believe me when I say it is. The Relay for Life provides hope for families like mine, and I think I can speak on behalf of all families of those who have had a loved one battle cancer when I say we are incredibly thankful for your efforts. Thank you, Celina Middle School, for raising money, putting so much time and effort into a truly amazing cause for such a horrible disease, and supporting families like mine. I truly believe that because of your efforts, there will be a cure found. CMS, keep supporting, keep motivating, and keep walking. Why do I walk? Because my mom was cured. Thank you.